Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about what it really means to roast a bachelor or a golden bachelor.
I mean, I think it means you just cut them down to size. Just say the meanest thing that you can think of,
Yeah,
right?
just be
That's
really mean. And for some of us, that comes naturally. For Cheryl, a bit more of a struggle, but she finds her way. Joining us this week to discuss episode 2, week 3 of season 2 of The Golden Bachelor is Rory Uphold, author of A Final Girl's Guide to the Horrors of Dating.
Hi, guys. I love
Hi.
that intro.
so happy to have you. Your book seems relevant to the material we cover, so this is just a perfect fit.
It is, yes. Yeah.
Especially because The Bachelor is, in a sense, all about being a final girl amid the horrors of dating.
It really is. And something that, oh gosh, that I was watching that really relates to the book is there's a woman on this episode who talks about being chosen. And that's kind of like the thing that I basically wrote the book about, that women need to stop trying to be chosen and learn how to choose. And that we've grown up in this world where society is just always trying to make us more palatable or smaller or all of these little things. And so when she said that, my heart hurt. I was like,
Was it
no.
just like dagger? Yeah.
I was like,
no, I think we
yeah.
had both
At
had
60s? Oh no.
Yeah.
I
It
know. I
never
think all
goes
three of us
away.
had a strong reaction to that.
We're all just like the forgotten cardigan under someone's bed. We just want to be picked up and
Oh,
worn.
yeah. Oh man. I know.
A lot to get into in this rather short episode. But before we get into all of it, just a little bit of housekeeping. We are covering Love is Blind France on Rich Text this week, so look out for that episode. Also, we were nominated for a Signal Award for the Best Buddy podcast, and there is a listener's choice element. If you go to signalaward.com and sign up, you can vote for us. It would truly mean the world, and we will include that link in the show notes. Also, if you missed our coverage of Love is Blind Season 9's first drop, we actually released 2 episodes breaking down episodes 1 through 6 of the new season. So check those out earlier in your Love to See It feed.
Okay, so let's dive on into this episode. We open on Carol sitting in front of the glistening driveway with Mel. It's clearly one of those classic cold opens. They always manage to find a moment that is not dramatic at all and doesn't really work that well out of context. I don't know why they picked this moment for a cold open, but it made me think, boy, I bet not a lot happens this episode if this is what they went with.
I was so uncomfortable.
Then it's just very awkward.
It's so I started it and thought, good God, what did I do? Just because that kind of comedy, I don't know if you can call it comedy, but that awkwardness makes me want to die.
Same.
It's the secondhand embarrassment. I'm just all I'm doing is thinking about what it feels like to be in Carol's shoes in this moment. It doesn't
This is
feel
why
good.
I could not watch The Curse. I couldn't get through more than 1.5 episodes because I was I wish for death.
Yeah. It's also, I just found it really disorienting. Especially because often I'm taking notes and I'm kind of in the flow of writing things down. And so I think it took me an extra beat to notice that the conversation was going in circles. And then I just felt like deja vu. Did I accidentally rewind? What's happening? But basically she's like, you're handsome. And he's like, you're beautiful. And then he's like, so what do you want to know about me? And she's like, well, you're handsome again. And he's like, yeah. So we've got that going. And she realizes, and she's very embarrassed. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not, you're right. It's barely comedy. It's just awkward.
It just made her seem really dumb, and also, which I don't think she is. I mean, TBD,
No.
TBD, but
It's not, it creates an overwhelming impression of not being very with it, which, is why it's so awkward when that happens to you. And then to front load the episode with that it's really tough
Not
to
a
invite you
strong
into the
start,
episode.
I think is what you're saying.
Yeah.
We then cut to Peg, who is leading the women in some exercises, some punching
Yeah, they're
exercises.
doing punches, and then Cheryl's like, "Who are we punching?" Cheryl, throughout this episode, emerges as someone who is just, like, intrigued and baffled and horrified at the idea of any kind of aggression, so I thought that was very fitting. She's like, "Why are we punching? Why would we do that? Like, is there a person we're punching?" Like, "Cheryl, it's
I
exercise."
know. I love that there was also no answer. The
Yeah.
question just hangs in
Everyone was
silence.
just like, Cheryl, I'm
Yeah.
not going to dignify that with an answer. We also
The
see
interesting thing
Terry.
about this season is that there is an obvious person that they could all be punching, but they're presumably there to date him. So he is both their like suppressed enemy and also their future like husband.
Yeah, the call is coming from inside the
Yeah.
house.
We also see Terry performing some of her ventriloquism for Nicole. Like Nicole offers the doll the rose, and then she's like, "I'll be waiting in the hot tub," and the doll's like, "I bet you will. I saw you yesterday with Mel."
Terry's skills are all over the place in this instance. I think we see her talent. When she gets nervous, you start to see her mouth move a little bit more. But this was a
Yeah.
pretty good showing.
Yeah, she's really going in hard on the ventriloquism thing. I don't know how wise of a move that is strategically.
Well, as we see, they were like, it has a shelf life of 2 episodes.
Yeah, they were
So
like, and we're good on the doll. Let's get
Yeah.
rid of the doll.
Cut. You're out.
so we cut to Terry then sitting with Nicole, Cindy, and Roxanne, and I think Amy, kind of hanging out. And Terry is directly calling Nicole out for having Mel to herself for so long at the pool party. She's
And this
like,
is
"I
why
thought it
I
was kind of
love
off."
Terry.
Yeah. She
Mhm.
didn't even make the doll say it. She was just like, "No, me, Terry, I'm saying I thought it was a little off."
I mean, guys, it was
It
off.
was.
It was off.
I was off. Like,
It was
I don't
off, and
care what
Nicole
age you
will not
are.
be stopped.
yeah, Nicole was like, I see what you're saying, and I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. She's basically like, "I'm sorry, but he's attractive and we were half naked in the pool. So like how can you blame me for whatever
She's
Which,
like,
by the way,
ensues
think
from
you
everybody's
that?"
get
half
it.
naked in the pool. That's the crazy part. She like acted as if like they were just half naked. Like everybody's wearing a bathing suit.
Right. She's describing this sort of romantic, private sounding moment. Like the two of us were in each other's arms, half naked in the pool. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. You were acting like it was just the two of you half naked in a pool together. But in fact, there were many other half naked women around watching.
Oh, so again, the awkwardness. I mean, I guess that's
Yeah.
my thing for the episode. It's just, well, that wasn't the episode, but even the callback, I was like, whoo, shudder.
Yeah. It's been a very awkward season so far. And the other women are not super okay with this. In the moment, Cindy is like, "I'm worried. I am not okay with Mel trying to explore things with other women."
This is the point in which I became concerned for Cindy. It's like, you're going to have a rough go. It's episode 2.
Same. I was like, ooh, we can't cry about this.
I understand getting there and being like, "I'm having a harder time with this than I expected." But to say I'm not okay with him trying to explore things with other women, week 3 of The Bachelor, like that is kind of the concept of the show.
No, that's literally the basic structure of this show, unfortunately for Cindy.
Amy does defend Nicole. She's like, maybe she just got caught up in the moment. And Nicole is like, I was in a handsome man's arms in a pool. Like, we
Again,
all know what
we
happens.
know Nicole, but honestly, thank God for Nicole. She's bringing something to this season.
Yeah.
We like need
And
a villain so badly because Mel is really giving us nothing.
And she seems kind of game. Like the women are confronting her and she's not really apologizing. In the moment, she says she's surprised by how prim and proper they are. But she suspects that, like in other things, she'll be the pioneer and they'll follow her lead.
She's unconcerned, unbothered, an unbothered
She's like,
queen.
soon everyone will be making out with Mel half naked in a pool.
And she was kind of right.
She's kind of
She
right.
is kind of right.
Yeah.
The date card arrives and it goes to Nicole, Jerry, Robin, Amy, Monica B, Cindy, Terry, Cheryl, Carol, Monica P, Peg, and Roxanne. Love doesn't have to be so serious. Love Mel.
And this
This means-
means that Debbie is going to get the one-on-one. And she is like so overcome by the emotion of being chosen that she starts to weep and literally says, "It feels amazing to be chosen." So this is our like defining feature of Debbie.
It was not great for me. I mean, I will say that Debbie on the date, I was like, oh, I get more of the personality. But in that moment, I was like, I would do anything to get Debbie off the show.
Oh, no.
Well, just
Poor
because
Debbie.
like I'm like I don't know, the thought of her. Oh, it's gonna be so mean, but you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna own it. It felt very pathetic,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
don't want to root for somebody that feels pathetic. Not in like a way of like we root for people who are down, but just to be like, I just wanted to be chosen. I
It
don't know.
it's a bit of a it made me sad. It made me a little
Yes,
sad.
Yeah.
Also
yes.
I think
looking
that's
at
part of
Debbie,
yeah.
who is such a like she's such a like sparkly person. Like she's had this incredible career. She's absolutely stunning. She's clearly lived a really interesting and vibrant life. And so I think like as younger women, there's something you almost want to see these women have like achieved a more settled feeling about
Yes.
being single. You know, like it almost feels like depressing, but maybe that's unfair of us to expect
Oh,
a
I think
different
it's
feeling than like someone at 29 or 39 would feel about being single. So I was like having that like battle within myself where I'm like, on the one
Yeah.
hand, this is just, I think, a feeling that a lot of people have if they want a partner and like haven't found one for whatever reason. And on the other hand, you're like, Debbie, I like want better for you because I want better for all of us.
Yeah.
you nailed that. I mean, yes, I literally like wrote a whole book about it, but it's this I think what it was, and now that you've said that and I've listened, pathetic is mean, and I'm walking back from it. But what it is I identify with it because
Mm,
I feel like the story that she has told herself about herself kills me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can see, I mean, and there's something, I guess, empowering about the fact that she's owning it. I just hate that at 60 something, she still kind of believes that she's like unloved and unlovable.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I
I
know she's
I
not saying
agree.
that,
Yeah.
but being like, I finally being chosen as if that, like, babe, you get to choose yourself every day. And, I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah. And I think sometimes that is tricky with especially women who buy in hard on the lead from the very beginning and are just like kind of waiting to be picked. And it's like, it doesn't necessarily seem like you're thinking that hard about whether you pick this person because you have been so socialized and accustomed to thinking of yourself as, like we were saying, kind of like a little doll on the shelf waiting to be picked up by a man who wants to play with you, which is how girls are kind of raised to see themselves in romantic relationships. And yeah, I do, like, want so much better for her, and it also really throws me, and I think part of what's happening, as you said, Emma, is, like, there is something just unsettling about the fact that she comes off initially as so, like, confident, statuesque, like, accomplished, like, a celebrity. Like, she is, like seems so, like, striking and strong, and then a lot of what we see of her character is this, like, almost, like, very girlish, sort of affect.
And
And it
broken.
throws
Yeah.
me. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really throws me, and but at the same time, I'm like, it's not a stereotype, like, she is a complicated person, she's not the person that I expected her to be, and in that sense, I appreciate it, and like you said, Emma, like, they don't, like, owe us anything, right? Like, they don't owe us an example, but it does bring forth all these complicated
Yeah,
free
it's bringing up a
feelings.
lot of feelings
It's
in all
bringing
three
up
of
a
us, and we'll
lot.
get more into that when we talk about her date with Mel.
Yeah, that
But
was just based off of her
yeah.
reaction to being chosen for the date, can you imagine? Okay.
Imagine,
Totally.
imagine all the feelings that we are going to have. On that note, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we will get into the group date.
And we're back. So the big group heads to the Bellwether, an LA theater with the Golden Bachelor up on the marquee. And Mel is waiting inside. He says in his In the Moment that coming into week 3, he's starting to feel the pressure of dating multiple women, but he's excited to have these feelings again. Thank you, Mel.
Guys, Mel is such a fucking dud. I can't
It's
believe it.
it's hard. It's hard to connect to him.
He looks the part.
Oh, he's
Well, I
so
think that's why they
handsome.
picked him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
That's the
He's
only
so
reason.
handsome, and he actually has like a very interesting backstory. Like the most I felt connected to him was when he was talking about his childhood and his family and growing up in Detroit. Like all of that, I was like, okay, we're cooking here.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I was waiting for him to loosen up a little more this episode, and it's just
Didn't happen.
I don't
not
think he's a
there.
loose guy. I don't think he's a loose guy. Physically,
I was gonna say,
and
which
also
is which
emotionally.
is ironic. Yeah.
Well, I think he's like he is sort of that kind of still fit former football player where he's very just like muscle bound
Yeah.
in a sense. He's like a block of muscle that
And you're
turns
like,
this
come
way
on,
and that.
guy, what's underneath? What's inside that tank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of canned lines about what it's like to be the Bachelor. It's pressure, but also exciting. He hugs the women, and I thought it was notable that Nicole did not run out ahead of everyone else, and in fact hung back a little bit. And I was like, maybe she's trying to play nice a little bit. He tells the women that during his years in the NFL, he took a lot of criticism from coaches, sportscasters, armchair quarterbacks, but he learned to roll with the punches, and he wants the same from his partner. So, of course, they're going to be roasting. And if this wasn't originally planned, they surely planned this as soon as they decided not to recast him before filming because
Oh,
they
yeah.
needed a chance for the women to really work out their
This season is all about
celebrated
finding
aggression.
group catharsis, both for the women and the audience, surrounding the choice of Mel.
100%. I
Yes.
was like, wait, what? Sorry. This is their second like thing and we're gonna just rip him apart now. Also,
Yeah.
roasting is like an elite level of comedy. It's
They
not
love doing this on The Bachelor, though.
you're right.
It's
You're right.
far from the first roast date, and it's a great. I mean, this is a reality show. What they love is for the roast to go a little bit wrong in a way that creates tension in the house or like shifts the dynamic of a relationship with the lead. And always there is like some fodder for a drama that comes out of a roast because everyone's like, "Oh, I get to just say whatever." But there
Totally.
can still be consequences.
It's so weird because when I was on the show to do Bachelor in Paradise, they also did a roast.
Oh yeah.
Which you guys wouldn't remember, but I would remember. So it
We
is funny,
only have you on for the roasting.
which is so crazy because I'm always like, it stresses me out so much because I do know someone's going to say something cringe
This
or
is
out of pocket.
exposure therapy for
Yeah.
you, Rory.
Yeah, you need to get comfortable with roasting, with amateur roasting. And Mel invites out to join him comedian Jared Freed, a notable Bachelor recapper.
I was like, in a way, have we all made it onto the show now?
They're acknowledging the world of Bachelor recapping. So, yes. And he's like, this is a comedian. He's going to be guiding us through the roast. And Robin is starstruck. She's like, I love Jared Freed. I listen to his podcast.
Again, thank you for just really representing all of us, Jared.
Yeah,
and
which
thank
is
you
crazy
to
'cause
Robin
I'm-
for being a podcast listener.
I am on his podcast this week. So I screenshotted it. And I also was like, I really feel very included in this episode.
You're like,
Robin
this is so
is going to
beautiful
be
for all of
listening.
us.
Yeah.
You're going to be watching Robin. Robin's going to be listening to you.
Hey, girl.
Jared tells the women he's 40, which is the age Mel wishes they were, and they're
That was
going to
good.
roast each other.
That was good.
He's like, whoever brings it the hardest will win a date with Mel. And if you lose, we can go get a martini. I don't care that you're older. He does.
I
Like
love that.
it's reaching the point where it's not funny because it is true.
Yeah.
And it's just
I
becoming
know. The
sad.
camera kept cutting to Mel, and he's trying so hard to be like, ha, 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 ha. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Cheryl is really struggling with the concept. She's like, in my family, we don't roast anything except marshmallows. And so she has to do a little research to figure out what roasting even means. I believe we have a clip.
Tell me about a roast. Like,
Well,
what
you're
else are
going to
we doing?
totally, I mean, you don't hold anything back. If it sounds so mean and...
Oh, no, that's not
Oh,
good.
well, I know, but in
What?
this case, it's good.
It is?
So a roast is like you take a human being and you cut him down.
Thank you, Cheryl.
This is incredible. When Monica P is like, "You don't hold back, even if it sounds so mean. It's good." And Cheryl's like, "It is?" She sounds like a little Disney like fawn or something.
I
It's just
love
like,
Cheryl.
"What?"
I'm really rooting for Cheryl. She really like takes to a task because then she goes for it pretty
Well,
hard.
well, yeah, because she's like, apparently I'm just supposed to say the meanest things imaginable, but it's clear that Cheryl could not really mean such cruel things, and so it really plays well.
Yeah, she's great.
Love her.
I love
She
the roasting of the marshmallow of all the things she could have said. Turkey,
Well, and her
any
family is
chicken.
Greek, so I was really, no credit to me for my stereotypes. I was expecting like a shoulder of lamb or something,
Totally.
and she went
She's
with
like
No,
marshmallows.
marshmallows.
I'm always roasting those marshmallows. Is she thinking of like toasting them?
I mean, you roast a marshmallow over a fire.
I think of it more as toasting.
Whoa. I feel like this
Okay.
is is this
Yeah, I
dress
don't
blue
know. Both
or
sound
like
right.
Cheryl and I are gonna have it out. Meanwhile, Terry is eager to roast Mel about the things he said on the podcast. And she's like, hopefully he won't take it too personally. I think many of us are going to use that material and turn it back on him.
I'm
Because, yeah,
like,
they're all
what else is
secretly
there?
still pissed about it. Yeah. And like, what else is there?
Yeah, he's not giving you guys much otherwise.
Carol has a unique challenge during this because she doesn't have her reading glasses. And so she can't write down her set.
I was like, they need to just be carrying around like a box of readers of different prescriptions
They
for
sell
these
them at
women.
the drugstore. Just
Exactly.
like have
Run
a
to
couple pairs.
CVS and
My
get
favorite
this woman her readers.
My favorite part was that the way that they clipped it in the beginning was she's like, I can't write because I can't read. And I was like, what? Like they started off with her just repeating the same sentence. And then you're like, this bitch can't read? This is fucking crazy.
I know.
Who is she,
I
Leah
had the same
Michelle?
thought.
Yeah.
They really are doing her dirty in this
Breaks
edit.
into
They're like,
song.
this woman can't read and she can't remember what she said 10 seconds ago. Like,
Truly.
she's struggling. But she's like, no, I can't read because I can't see anything. So she even tries to like take the glasses from a bartender, but they're the wrong type of prescription. They're
Yeah,
not
the
reading
bartender's
glasses
like,
because
those are for driving. They're like for distance.
they're not for like, why would I be wearing reading glasses behind the bar? And so after a failed quest to get reading glasses, there's no prep time left, and she finally decides to just wing it. I was like, why? You could have spent all this time coming up with material and memorizing it. Not that obviously that puts you at a disadvantage, but now you don't have a written down set and you don't have a memorized
She was
set.
so calm. If that
I
were
know.
me,
I'd
I would
be
have been
flipping. I'd be in
dying.
tears.
Yeah, me too. Her reaction to do stand up in front of there was like an actual audience. It wasn't just in front of like Mel and the girls. Like she
The
had
bravery of these women, I'm in awe.
Yeah, truly, really.
It's interesting because she spends a lot of her time actually in like distress and anxiety this episode, but the way that manifests for her is so much calmer and more radiant than when I'm full of stress and anxiety.
No,
Totally.
Carol, I want to be you when I grow up.
Time for the roast, and they do go pretty hard.
I love it.
Um,
I think they could have gone even harder.
I do too.
Monica B kicks us off. She's like, Mel, you're like a classic car. You're strong, you're sexy, and you don't go over 60.
But bum.
She's like, we heard what you said on that podcast, but don't worry. We know you've never been great at recovering a fumble. There are
Iconic.
gasps in the crowd when she impugns his football skills.
Iconic
good.
burn.
Everyone's like, oh my God, now she's gone too far. She says he's never been good at recovering a fumble. Like, you can't just say that about someone.
I liked
And then
Cheryl. Cheryl was so good. She's like, it makes sense that you grew up in Detroit because you remind me of Detroit pizza. Crusty, cheesy, and square.
Sometimes I was
girl?
like, did they really write this? Like, I'm just curious.
I mean, I
you
think
think that they-
I think Jared was going around maybe helping them.
And helping.
Giving some
punch up.
prompts.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But afterwards, Cheryl looks at the camera and she's like, he's frickin' roasted down to a charcoal.
The first thing she said, and I didn't write it down, was on the borderline of too mean. And I was like, oh no, is she gonna go way too hard? Because she basically the message she took away from her research is I should just be incredibly, incredibly mean. But then she rescued it with the Detroit
It
pizza
was good.
metaphor. Robin is like, you always have something in your throat, maybe because you're always putting your foot in your mouth. Which I think was about the podcast and
Yeah.
also about the fact that he's phlegmy.
Oof.
Uh, Terry is still doing ventriloquism. She has her doll say that she has better shoes than Mel, even though she doesn't walk. Terry's mouth is moving a little bit, I'm sorry to say. I
Yeah.
was like, just do stand up. Like, you don't have to do
Well,
the
to be fair,
ventriloquism
Jared
bit
did
here.
tell her that she should use the puppet. So I'm going to
Yeah.
blame
I'm
him
gonna
for
blame
this one.
Jared.
Me too. Me too. Because I also like, babe, you're a babe. Like, let's put the doll down.
You don't
Yeah.
need it. You don't need
You
your
don't need
emotional
it.
support doll.
Right. You don't need props. Like, I feel like you could have done that sans doll.
Yeah, we're getting into like classic Bachelor season territory now, where they're like, oh, let's have a girl with something weird, like vampire teeth, or like she comes in dressed like a squirrel. Like, I don't know, why not?
Totally.
Um,
Also, I'm like,
A-
Terry is constantly being deadpan and a little mean, and I love it. Like, she
I
didn't
know.
need the doll at all.
No. I also love, wow, yeah, they really did jump to the classics. We haven't even had that many seasons of The Golden Bachelor, and we're already bringing in people with props.
I know. They're like, we know what's gonna make.
We
for
know
a
what's
good
gonna happen.
season.
Yeah.
Someone with an annoying prop, someone who is too physically aggressive with the lead in front of the other contestants, someone who takes too much time. Amy has lost her voice, but she is ready to hoarsely improv her set. I believe we have a clip.
I mean, what am I even doing on here? I can't see, I can't talk, and I'm short. And you know what? I'm old. I can't even get my shoes on. My feet are swollen. Help. Oh, and Mel, I'm actually the only girl that cooks and cleans for everybody in the house. Girls, who's going to make you dinner tonight? And wait a minute, who's going to clean up? You know what? I'm your mother. Come here,
This
sweetheart.
feels like I'm on the phone with my mom. This is making me anxious.
You want to be on
All
the
you've
phone
done
with
is
your
come up
mother?
here and just complain about random things. It's freezing in the house, and the beds are uncomfortable, and we don't got any food, and all I do is cook and clean, and everyone gives me their laundry, and I know I asked them if they want their laundry done, but I'm doing their laundry, even though I asked them if I could do it. This is every call to my mom. Mel, do not marry her.
What just happened? He just like Jared just jumps in and redoes her whole set
And
as his
roasts
own
her.
set. And roasts
Roaster,
her.
but also Amy's like roasting herself and the other women. I was like, Amy, you have to roast Mel. Mel is not roasted at any point.
No, not at
That-
all.
well, I was like, would she have gotten to it if Jared had not jumped in and been like, yeah,
True.
moms do suck and they're always complaining. Don't marry her. That's so annoying.
Jared is like triggered by the presence
Jared
of
is
another
triggered.
Jewish mother. I was like, let Amy live. She's a
He's like,
delight.
She
It's
is
like,
a
I can't
delight.
sit on the sidelines anymore. I'm too triggered. I have to step in.
My take was that she was probably like really bombing, and he was like, I've got to save this for the audience.
That also it like might have been going on for longer than we
when we
can
think,
see.
because her being like, guys, who's gonna cook for you tonight? When she started like doing that, I was like, okay, I don't think there's a joke coming. Like, I think she's just now polling
She's
the crowd.
freestyling a little too much. My hot take on this is that this didn't play well on the episode. I think they could have cut her down to a little like one-liner, like they do a lot of them, and showing Jared stepping all over her set to make fun of her just like didn't play well for me in the episode, even if it might have played well.
In the audience. Yeah, and I'm
Contextually
sure
in
he
the
probably
audience.
like jumped in more than that, but we only see him jump in there, so it
And
feels
but
pointed.
just being like, don't marry her, it just ended up feeling kind of like wait, I didn't know the judge was gonna get to jump in and, like, roast me, like, I didn't know that's what this was, like, it threw me off,
I think we
but I think
just
you're
needed
probably
Amy being like, "I'm short."
that
Like, and
that
then
part, it was
move it
funny there, you could have stopped it there and just shown that
just,
part
like,
in
move
the
it along
episode.
from there because she was
100%.
perfect in
But
that
I'm sure it
intro.
would have been hilarious.
Exactly. Let us edit the show.
Then Nicole comes up and says she is the one who kissed Mel, and Amy was so appalled she had no words, and you can all thank me for that.
I actually thought
And
that was
then
kind of a great
Yes.
joke.
And she's one of the only women that we see getting any of the hits, which it is sort of supposed to be a roast among the cast, right? Like you're allowed to roast the other women.
Yeah.
She's mostly the one taking those because she is the one who made out with Mel in the pool. She gives some back, and then she does an impression of Mel. Roses are red, violets are blue. I want all the women to love me, but especially you and you and you. But can I check your IDs first? And I was like, I don't know what's going on with this joke. It doesn't seem like it's really about Mel specifically. It's just about being the Bachelor, except for the part about checking IDs.
Well, yeah, at the end, she's like, "Let's tack it on."
Yeah. Carol
And
is
it
last.
crushed. And surprisingly, you guys,
Yeah.
that joke crushed.
Listen, there's no accounting for the taste of comedy audiences. But Carol's like, yeah, she was really working the crowd. Like, she's a really tough act to follow. Um, and also, I still can't see anything, so I'm really nervous for my. Why does she even leave for dates without her readers? It seems like that it's actually quite debilitating to not be able to see anything.
Totally. I was like, wait, if you can't see, you can't write. Like, I truly had a moment where I was like, I'm so stressed for her. We've got to figure out like some. And then Jared at one point, like, holds up her binder and is like, you've just written his name down. You have nothing. And he's like, you're fucked.
And it's in like 5-inch letters because she can't see.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
huge.
everyone, including Carol, failed Carol here. The readers should have been on the premises. But she does land at least one joke. She's like, I heard on the podcast that Mel likes to date 40 to 60-year-olds. That's the first thing we have in common.
Honestly, I thought that was fabulous.
Queen
That was
energy.
funny.
Yeah.
And then after they all wrap up their sets, Mel does the classic group date thing where he gives positive feedback to a number of the women that he's not going to pick, but it's really not very insightful feedback. It's just like, you were really confident. Amy, wow, was his comment for Amy. But he chooses Nicole as the winner. There isn't even a fig leaf of like, Jared and I will confer on whose set was the best. It's just Mel's going to decide based on this roast who he wants to go on a date with.
Totally. I know. I was like, wait, I thought the person who went the hardest was supposed to win.
I
Like,
mean, it's really like, who does Mel want to go on a date with that wins?
For sure.
Right.
So
For
that was
sure.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do much to bridge the gap between what they were told about how they get the prize and the actuality of how they get the prize.
Right.
Because they usually do say like, all right, we're gonna confer and like we'll decide. It's just Mel being like, I want to go on a date with Nicole. So we're gonna do that.
She reminded me of the pool. I think I'm going to go out with her again.
Yeah. He was like, that was pretty cool. Wouldn't it be even better if I wasn't being watched by
Yeah.
20 other women?
So they have a little private date after the comedy show and they have dinner. And Nicole is really eager to get to know Mel better by asking questions like how he met his wife, how his marriage was, how it ended, why it ended, and how he feels about it ending.
Honestly, I sort of loved this because Mel gives us so little, and usually it's like the women waiting to be questioned about their trauma, and Nicole's just getting right in there. She's like, so tell me, did your wife leave you?
Yeah. It's
I
like
loved
she's
it.
preparing for a deposition. She's like, I have my list of questions here, and it's just every variant that you could imagine on the theme that would get every possible piece of incriminating information out of them.
I thought it was great. I also was like kind of marveling at how she managed to do it in a way that didn't make me cringe or didn't make me like super uncomfortable. And he wasn't like stepping back or pausing. Like he actually did give her the answers. And I thought, there's an art to that, and she is like kind of nailing this.
I think she does have like a lot of confidence about her appeal. And she's like, if I just ask a direct question, that's going to be
Received well.
received
Yeah.
well because it's me showing interest. I have to say, like, I was not impressed by Mel's responses because he doesn't like dodge the question, but he also just doesn't seem forthcoming to me
At
at
all.
all. Like she's
Oh, I
asking all these
agree.
questions and he'll be like, I was married once. We divorced this many years ago. It was hard.
Especially like when so she's like, was it your choice? Was it her choice? And he's like, it was her choice.
Yeah.
And then
Right,
you
there's
find
no
out
there's
that
no like emotion behind it. Like I just was thinking so much about the difference between Mel and Gary during this date, especially because Gary was so emotionally vulnerable. Like for all, he wasn't perfect. No one is. But like the way he engaged with every woman's story and his own story just had so much warmth behind it, so much emotion. And with Mel, it is just like doing the least all the time. I mean, Nicole even says, like, I've been married twice. And he doesn't say, oh, tell me more about that. Like,
no, I know. And
why
she
did
talks
those
about
why did those relationships end?
Yeah.
How do you feel about marriage because you've experienced it more than once? Does it make you nervous to go into it a third time? Like he's
Yeah.
not giving anything back to her.
And she's really pulling. Like, she's like, whose choice was it? He says it was my wife's choice. She was younger. She wanted to experience other things, which I think is a very, like, maybe accurate, but very clinical
there's
way
no
of
way
putting it.
that's accurate. I'm sorry, that is insane. Women don't leave good men. Like I don't know how to say that in a way that it's just they don't.
I mean, she was
They don't.
20 years younger than
Yeah,
him.
she was a lot younger than him.
Well,
All right.
I think
Okay. Maybe.
I listen, I can't claim to know what went on in every marriage, but it didn't seem to me like he was actually opening up much about what it was like for that marriage to end. He's like,
No.
she was younger. She
Right.
wanted something else. Nicole is like, yes, I had to have that conversation too with the husband. How did she approach it? And he's like, oh, she was just like, it's over. And I was just sitting there and she had the papers ready and I didn't fight it. And she's like, well, that must have been heartbreaking. And he's like, of course. Yes. It was very painful. Okay. Like say more. And then I
more.
think he had a very long divorce battle. I think it just was finalized
Yeah, it was
in
like
December
4 years.
2024. And he doesn't really want to, it seems like, get into any of the emotions or how that actually affected his life.
Which
Right,
is
like
crazy,
in
'cause then
in
why
what
go
way
on The
was it
Bachelor?
painful? What did you learn from that? How does it
Right.
feel now? Like it's clear that it was a fairly contentious divorce, but you have these two like grown children from that marriage. You obviously
Yeah,
are
the kids don't come
co-parents.
up.
And
Like,
you said you didn't fight it. So it's a weird thing to be like, she kind of blindsided me by showing up with these papers. I didn't fight it, but then it's like we duked it out in court for years and years and years, and now I have nothing really to say about it.
Yeah. There
That's
are
not
lots
The
of
Bachelor.
things about it that don't seem to entirely. It's
Line
not that
up.
they can't line up, but like the way that they're presented feels like they don't line up. And I wonder actually if one reason that he doesn't want to talk about the marriage that much is because it really feeds into the idea that he is not willing to date older women. His wife was significantly younger than him. And he'll say things like, my marriage lasted 25 years. I don't understand what that means because they got married in 2002, reportedly. They split in 2020. So you could say, okay, he's counting their long divorce battle. Even so, you're probably counting a couple years at the beginning
Can't
of the
count the
relationship.
divorce battle.
Well, if you're not counting the divorce battle, then you're saying it started much earlier.
when they started
like
dating?
when they started dating, in which case she would have been a teenager when they started dating. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Don't
he's
love
saying
that.
things that prompt
Don't
a lot
love
of
it.
questions.
Because I believe she was like 23 when they got married.
Yeah, she's still, I think, in her 40s. And it's just like there are these details where you're just like, wait, so how does that all piece together? And it's not entirely clear, but he doesn't really want to get into it.
Yeah, that I do. Maybe that is why he holds back and seems so kind of stoic. But it is so interesting because I'm so used to Bachelor contestants on both sides, like talking about what they've learned in their love life. Like I do think that that's like the part of the show that like I love the most is like learning about everybody's story. And
it's kind of the base of it,
Yeah.
and
Right.
certainly of the Golden franchise, which is so
my favorite.
steeped in, it's so
It's my favorite.
wonderful exactly because it is so steeped in people being like, I have led an interesting, full, at times difficult life, and this is what I have learned. Like, I am wiser. I am in my 60s or 70s. I have like lived through some tough shit, and here's how I've come out the other end and what I want as a result. And like Mel is just giving us so little of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially compared to Nicole, who literally said almost what you just said, which is like, got married twice, and they're both great men. Like, she's come out of it. She's at peace with it. She's like, I now have learned so much from both of those. I know exactly what I want. They're both great guys. It was like, okay, get it. Yeah.
Right. And we're not getting that from Mel here. I actually thought this would have been an interesting place, and maybe he'll take this opportunity in the future to talk about what it was like to have a marriage, as he puts it, kind of break up in part because of this age gap.
Right.
And then to kind of maybe
Yes.
as an older man kind of reckon with that and now be dating women who are his age and like talk about maybe the journey to like kind of reevaluating what kinds of women he's interested in dating.
But maybe he hasn't.
And
Well,
maybe it seems
I
like he
think
probably
that's the
hasn't.
problem.
Right, right.
don't
But
think
that
he
is such
has.
to me, I think that's such an interesting conversation. You're so right. Like, I would love to, because even if it's messy, if you're willing to take the mirror and shine it back at yourself, even if what we see is kind of ugly, I don't know. I think there's something so endearing about a person who's willing to like look at their flaws and be like, well, I guess these are
100%.
these flaws, and I'm figuring it out.
Well, that is
Yeah.
what allows you to connect to a person, that like
Yeah.
stickiness.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
instead it's just like flat.
Yeah. It's just like it was very sad. Would I get married again? I would. And he offers her the rose. They make out a little, and in the moment, he says they have chemistry. You can't manufacture chemistry, and you can't fight it.
You can fight
So
it. You can definitely fight it.
you can't fight the feeling, as Justin Timberlake has so memorably taught us. My kindergartner loves that song, so I've learned that lesson very well. And Nicole also feels really good. Like she's like, he's really opened up to me so much,
Like the bars in hell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's like, he did answer my questions that I asked
Yeah.
him directly to an extent.
Would
Yeah.
I say he was enthusiastically forthcoming? No, but when I asked, he found words with which to respond.
Yeah. Oh my God.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Debbie's one-on-one date.
And we are back. So we head back to the house, and the women are discussing the changing beauty standards that have been forced upon them as they have aged. I think what they're really talking about is the era of YouTube and TikTok makeup tutorials. Roxanne is like, I used to just wash my face and wear lipstick, and now it's like contouring. Like, what's going on here?
I loved that.
Yeah, layers
Also,
of
I think
things.
she says contouring.
Yeah. She's like, what is this foreign concept? And Roxanne, I agree. I still struggle so much with contouring. And they all are discussing their remedies for puffy eyes. Peggy has a freezable eye mask.
Which I loved.
I was like, that
I
looks
love
soothing.
the idea of her keeping
Yeah.
it in the firehouse freezer. All the guys are like, Peg, what's this? She's like, don't worry about it. Carol just whips out 2-gallon tubs of ice cream.
I loved that. I was like, that's an innovator right there. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, on a really bad day, and she takes out a whole
Thing
like
of
bag
ice.
of ice.
The problem with the ice cream is, are you going to compromise the creaminess of the ice cream by melting it against
Well, I think you like,
your under eyes?
put it on your under eyes, take a scoop,
Take
put it
a
on your
scoop.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I am such a beauty junkie that I thought this was just a missed opportunity to like really talk about real shit. And I was like, no one has mentioned the Peter Thomas Roth, like under eye, like that. And I don't need it, obviously, but like that is like wizard stuff. Like it will take the puffiest, craziest under eye bags and flatten it in
Wait,
a way
I need
that
to
like
learn about this.
Okay,
oh my,
I
you
do
guys,
need it very much
holy.
so please send that to me.
I mean, you don't. The people that are doing the befores and afters truly look like, they were raised in a desert gas station and then they come out with like the smoothest baby bottom under eyes. It's truly like the most insane thing I've ever
You
seen.
were like, this was Love Island would have had like a full integration
Yes,
at this
yes.
moment.
That's what I was
like,
thinking.
that would be very Love Island for
You'd
them
be
to
like
suddenly be like,
sponsored by.
I agree. What I use is this Peter Thomas Roth.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like it.
I know.
But seriously, I have 2 small kids and sleep deprivation will do crazy things to your skin. So I do actually need that very badly. Debbie is getting ready for her one-on-one and she's feeling so excited. She finally has butterflies for the first time in 14 years. And in the moment, she says that of course she wants to be married. What girl doesn't want to get married? People are always saying this on this show, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to get married, but actually lots of girls don't want to get married.
Yeah.
There's just
It's okay to want that. It doesn't mean that everyone wants that.
Right. You're allowed to want it and you're allowed to not want it. And both are sort of like neutral in my
Yeah.
mind. I think this is getting back to what we were talking about earlier, but I felt this like that Debbie was doing some like self-infantilization, like, oh, I've never been married. I'm still a girl as a result. Like I haven't been initiated into like womanhood because I've never put on a wedding dress. I've never been married. And I don't know, just like made me sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Co-sign on that too. That was another moment where I went, Debbie, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like we got to get on the phone. This is insane. This is insane behavior. Like everybody is entitled to feel however they want. And I totally relate to the idea of like, when will it be my turn or when will I get this thing that I
100%.
want so badly? But like to make a statement in the year of 2025 about like every girl wants to get married. I'm like, babe, you haven't been on TikTok,
Yeah.
have you? Like this is like, not quite. It was just
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, I felt like there was definitely like a bit of a girlishness to how she was kind of presenting herself, like you were saying, like the eternal maiden. But like, I feel like there is also like a bit of like anxiety about like a defensiveness that's like,
Yeah.
well, maybe I shouldn't want this, but every girl wants this. Like, why shouldn't I get to still have this? And I do understand.
I do too. And
Where
like,
that's
here's the
probably
thing.
coming
If she
from.
wants that, she should get to have it.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
I just think that when women lean on those like every girl wants this narratives, sometimes it's a way of being like, it's okay for me to want this. Like
That's
it's not
true.
selfish or superficial or silly of me to
And
want
I also do
this.
wonder if she feels an anxiety about the fact that she is the only woman there
I think
who
she
has
does.
not
That
been
makes
married.
sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I think
I
that's
think
a
the way
piece of
that she
it.
delivers it, it comes off so like it reads like it's like the lines that oh gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say this word on this podcast. The patriarchy has fed women over
We
the
say
years.
it all the time. You're allowed.
It just, I'm like, it's a little intense. Sorry. But like, I think like what I probably bump up against is I'm like, it's not that I don't want her to feel that way or that she's not entitled to her feelings. I think it's the way that she says some of those things. And then it reads like almost the brainwashing of the patriarchy of like, every girl wants to get married. It's like what we all want. And like, I'm the only one that's never been married, where it's like, babe, you're a badass rock star. Like, have you forgotten who you are?
Right. Like not having been married doesn't like define you in
No.
any
Right.
meaningful way. You're still just as much of an adult
Yeah.
and an
Exactly.
accomplished woman as everyone else here. Mel rolls up in a Ford Bronco and she gazes adoringly up at him as he says they're going to have fun. And in the moment, he says he enjoys Debbie's company and how she just focuses in on him with no distractions. He also loves her adventurous side and doesn't just want to take her on a normal dinner date.
I mean, Mel, babe, it's a show. you would never be allowed to take her on a normal dinner date.
Right. He's taking her on the closest possible thing to a normal dinner
Exactly.
date.
Really, truly, yeah.
I do think he's genuinely into Debbie, though. I like felt that
I do
chemistry.
too. I think she's gonna win. I don't know if that's like if I should really be
No,
leading
I
with
know,
that, but
please.
like I really feel like I think Debbie might take it.
I mean, I would love that for her. I think she's definitely like a front runner for sure.
I'm definitely getting like Final Four at least.
For sure. She just had I felt like when she was with him, and I don't know if this is the way that they shot the show or if this was real or whatever, but kind of any criticisms I've had, like I felt like they disappeared and her personality comes out and I'm like, oh, I get it. She really is super engaging, so sparkly, funny, smart. And she does kind of like look at him as if he hung the moon, which let's be real, he's gonna need that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really struck by how the first thing he says about her is that she really focuses on him when they're together.
He's like, what do you know? I'm into that.
If I had Debbie's full attention, I would be into that too.
Yeah.
He takes her inside the kitchen of Petit Trois, a restaurant from Chef Ludo, a Michelin-starred chef and restaurateur. I didn't know any of these things beforehand, but apparently he's famous because she's like,
yeah.
Chef Ludo, it's you.
Well, I didn't
I'm a
know
fan.
that. I didn't know that part, but I know that we have like 3 Petit Trois in Los Angeles. So, and I've had caviar on eggs there before.
Ooh.
It's yeah. I've
Was
also
it
had
good?
like French fries and a Caesar salad. You know what I mean? Like they have a lot of good
That
food.
sounds amazing
But
also.
when the first one opened on, I think it was the first one. Don't quote me, but it was like on Hillhurst. It was like a very hard reservation to get into. It was tiny, and high end. And now I don't think the vibe is like that. But
It doesn't seem like it.
yeah,
If they're being featured on the Golden Bachelor, and Chef Ludo is chopping herbs and teaching them to make a French omelet on national TV. It seems like they're
Ludo's
going
putting
for
in the
further
work.
franchising.
yeah, yeah. The bar did feel a little. I was like, eggs for dinner? Okay.
He's like, this
Well,
is
he's
what
like,
I
I'm
can
not gonna
adequately
expect you
teach.
to. Yeah. I don't think they actually eat eggs.
No,
for
they get to
dinner.
eat steak.
They have steak, but they
Oh, right.
make an omelet before they get to eat their steak. They're not like cooking their own meal here. That would be crazy. Chef Ludo is going to have his sous chefs cook
Yes,
the meal.
True. That's true. Yes.
And Debbie's like, so what's the difference between white pepper and black pepper? And Mel just stares at her in deadpans. The color.
This is Mel's version of being lively and doing banter.
and she laughs, and it's genuine.
Yeah, she's able to like make a lot out of everything that he gives her. And they're both really having a great time cooking together. I think we have a clip of them discussing their experience.
I like Debbie, and I love cooking with her. I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me like, what's next? And should I put the cheese in, the butter? She likes to try new things. It's just fun. Get this?
Get some wrist action going in there. I love that he's so affectionate. I just miss that, and he's pretty darn good at it. Maybe I did put my hand on his butt once. Well, I didn't give it a squeeze, but I just kind of, I gave him a little tap.
How's that?
Get it, Debbie. I love that.
They are kind of like a two-headed chef because they're cooking with their arms around each other, and so they have two hands free.
You know
like
what?
one
I
creature.
love that for Debbie. She's just like going for the butt.
It's weirdly like I really was into it because I feel like there's so much kissing on the show, which I just think I don't know. It's a lot of germs, but it's one thing where I'm like, wow, we're just all making out. Okay, it's fine. But I loved that they were like, it's just a little more like handholdy and hand on the butt and hand on the back, and I was like, okay, that's cute.
It's like
Yeah,
a
we
little
see
more
less
like
of
real
this.
datey. Like they're
Yeah,
Yes.
like the everyday like intimacy
Yes.
and flirtation of just like standing close to each other while you're cooking.
It's cute. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see it. There's real chemistry here.
I will say that I continue to just be fascinated by Mel trying to describe his interest in these women. He's like, I love cooking with Debbie. I look at her, she looks at me. She's like, when do we put in the cheese? When do we put in the butter? you know.
He's like, you get it.
No, I don't know. What are
You
you
get it.
talking about?
He's like, you get it. I'm
He's
sure
like,
you can feel the intense chemistry from everything I am saying to you.
yeah, don't you just love it when your partner is interested in when to put the cheese into the omelet?
Well,
Like,
especially
it's
if that's
just
like how she's so wild. It was like she loves to try new things, like when to put the cheese and when to put the butter. It's like, have you what?
Mel does not have a way with words, okay? He like might have a way
No.
with a football, not with words.
Yeah,
He's
I almost
struggling.
was like, it's reaching the point where I'm like, production, you got to keep him in the booth until he gives you something else because this is not cutting it. They're like, but no, what do you like about cooking with Debbie? And he's like, she wants to put in the butter.
She
puts the
looks
butter
at
in the
me.
eggs. She looks at me.
Her hands on my butt.
Come on, guys, keep pushing.
So they
Uh,
do have a private steak dinner, and Mel actually eats. I love to see them actually eat this food. Like, you can't let Chef Ludo's sous chef steak go to waste. They could
It looks
never.
like really good steak.
It did look
It
really good.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing them enjoy their meals, and they still manage to have a conversation without excessive chewing. And Debbie tells Mel that she wants him to see who she really is. Yes, she has a fun side, but also a serious and romantic side, which I thought was a fascinating comment because that's what we're seeing the most of. But I think that they were having more of like a fun, flirty vibe on the date.
Yeah, she's like, I know how this show works. Now's the time to be serious and
Right,
emotional.
now that we're eating. And he asks her about how she's never been married. And I do think, again, we're seeing like that insecurity coming through where she's like, no, don't worry. I'm not like a single woman at heart. I wasn't cut out to be alone. I just like have been alone for a long time. And she seems like pretty emotional even talking about it.
Yeah. I thought she was going to cry. I was really
too.
grateful that she didn't. Not because I'm afraid of emotions. I'm not.
I think that she has a lot of feelings about it that
Yeah.
they're close to the surface. And I think that she has this sense that like she keeps expressing that like maybe Mel is the reason she was single for so long. Maybe this is it for her. That I think is it is hard to watch. I think that what we're kind of all circling around is that it feels like it puts so much pressure on this process to end in her being engaged to Mel. And
Yes.
he's dating so many
I
other
just-
women. And it's just hard.
Yeah.
You're like,
You're
I
just
want her
like,
to
"Oh,
be
a little
okay. I
bit."
want her to be
Yeah.
okay whether or not she ends up with Mel.
Yes.
exactly.
Thank you.
Like she's such a catch. Like that
Yes.
doesn't always mean that it's easy to find someone, but I'm like, I really hope for her to be okay and find what she's looking for and not to feel like it has to be in this setting. Like this is her last chance, which seems to be how she's kind of thinking about it. at
Yes.
times.
I think, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that because I really think you just articulated what I was feeling and why it's like, I didn't want her to cry because I'm like, now I want you to win because I feel very scared that if you don't, you're going to take this so personally and it's going to add to this narrative of like, you're not chosen, you're unlovable, you're unmarried, you're the one, that's like the reject. And
Yeah.
it's weird because when you see her, like she is like so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you always want people to come out of the show feeling like more confident. And sometimes they do, even if they don't win. And I hope that she has that trajectory.
And I think,
these
we saw that
moments
a
are-
lot on season 1. And I feel like that has to be at least part of what Debbie says, I watched season 1 and it made me so hopeful. And like, that's why I'm here. And I have to imagine that part of that hopefulness was not just because, Gary chose Teresa, but because of like seeing all of these vibrant women on the season.
Totally. Because she also has to know that didn't work out.
Right.
Spoiler.
But then she also had a knowingness that this was something she needed to do. And so she moved forward in faith. And so you can't discount the importance of knowingness, which
can
Mel
never.
also very much agrees with. They are two people who believe in knowingness. He offers her the rose and he thanks her for being gracious and says he's glad he invited her on the date because he knew that she would enjoy it and he would enjoy it with her. Thank you, Mel.
Mel, do better. Like, bet my guy.
Yeah. Listen, Golden Bachelor, you have 3 women who are willing to punch up. I'm just saying we are available
Someone
to
needs to give Mel some lines.
write a few cue
because,
cards.
Like, I'm so glad I invited you on this date. You'd enjoy it. Me too. No, Mel, say
Yeah.
something specific about her.
Right. We don't see any like real progression of getting to know Mel on this date, and he doesn't even have anything specific to say about her here.
And also, he like
It's
says
tough.
nothing in response when she's clearly feeling very emotional about having been single for so long. Like, he's just doesn't know how
Right.
to engage with any of these
There are
women.
missed opportunities to show Mel being sympathetic and a
Or like
receptive ear.
relational.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like that,
Like
that does feel,
conversation. One
yeah,
of those.
conversational, and just like how he would be as a partner if like they do
Well,
end
Yeah.
up together, you know?
We might be getting an indication.
I mean, the description of the divorce conversation, the date conversations, like you are kind of getting a picture of someone who's like, I can be in a relationship, but I'm not going to be like someone you like talk to about serious things. Like you can talk to me and I'll be present.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I'll
but, like, I'm
respond.
not which is I think something a lot of women in straight relationships do experience is that their
Oh,
partner
Lord.
doesn't really engage deeply
And that's
on these
exactly why there
things.
are so many straight women out there who are like, I don't need to be married. Maybe I'm
Right.
fine.
Yeah, 100%. But not Debbie.
Not Debbie.
They make out. Debbie feels the rose symbolizes hope of finding love again. And she says, it doesn't matter how old you are worthy. And I completely agree. Debbie, you're so worthy. And I just want you to be okay. I
Yeah.
want to-
I know. That was like the one, when she said that, I was like, yes, more of that, more of
Yes,
that.
hell
Yes.
yeah, we agree. Back at the house, the women are hanging out, stressing out about what Debbie and Mel are up to. And suddenly there's a knock on the door, and it's our faves, Susan and Kathy. They're in silk pajamas, ready to throw a fun slumber party and gossip with these ladies. I was just so happy to see Susan and Kathy.
Me too.
They
I
bring
mean,
so
that's
much more
fan
energy.
service.
So much
It
more
was like-
energy than Mel could ever.
We went from black and white to Technicolor when those two like entered the premises. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. I also forgot how much I love Kathy. Like, she's insane. I don't know what she's.
never forget how much I fucking love Kathy. She like made this last season of Paradise. She's perfect.
Also, I don't know what she has done to her face, but she looks amazing.
A facelift, I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
She does look great.
Yeah.
She does. And yeah, they're bringing that like slumber party realness here. They're like, we're in silk pajamas. We have pajamas for all of you, not silk, but they do have Mel's face printed on them. Like, I would prefer the plain
Yeah,
silk
I
ones
would find-
personally.
Just give me the regular cotton.
I know
Thank
they're
you.
gonna get like dumped by Mel and then have these like soft PJs that Mel's just like staring out at them.
Right.
From.
It's like having like a bar mitzvah like merch, but it's just for a guy that you dated for 2 weeks.
Yeah, much worse.
Much worse.
That's
They do
actually
play-
hilarious.
They do then play Never Have I Ever with bowls of ice cream, which I was like, oh, this is the only way to play Never Have I Ever. Forget alcohol. I want some
Yeah.
like Ben and Jerry's. It's
Yeah.
so much better.
But you have to play quickly
That's true.
because it's
It's
melting.
rapid fire. Never Have I Ever.
Which is nice. It also keeps you from, spending too long on the game. Nicole admits she's had sex with both of her husbands post-divorce.
bless her.
Jerry
God bless
is
her.
a member of the Mile High Club. Amy is shocked. She's like, could you imagine? She reads the Bible every night.
That I
She
thought
does
was
her
the
morning
funniest
prayer.
line of the fucking episode.
Amy is comedy gold.
I was like, Amy, the Bible never says that you can't have conjugal relations in an airplane. The founders were fine with it,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh man. It was just it was so unexpected.
Yeah. It's a little off-brand, but that just goes to show that you can be a devoted Christian and also have a little fun, a mile in the sky.
Yeah.
That's okay. Like, no one is just one
Women
thing.
contain multitudes.
They have some one-on-one sit-downs with Susan.
It's
and
mostly
Kathy.
Susan.
Mostly Susan is what we see.
Susan's just like make out with him to everyone.
I mean, like, what else are you gonna say? Like,
She's
it's
like,
not
"Be
like
yourself
there's
and
tailored
make
advice to give. Peg talks to Susan about how she's more comfortable with Mel than the women because she's so used to firefighters and like, let's go have a beer and watch the game. Like, I get it. You're a guy's girl. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Susan
Peg.
Susan advises Carol that if she wants Mel's attention, she should do what she needs to do and not be afraid to kiss him. And Carol is really nervous about this, but she's like, okay.
Yeah,
Message
because she probably
received.
can't see him.
How are you gonna even land in the right? Let's like pin the tail on the donkey.
Yeah.
Pin the kiss on Mel. Cindy admits she's worried that her feelings for Mel aren't reciprocated, and she's having a hard time seeing him develop other relationships and not choosing her like for dates, presumably. She is kind of like the one who is falling most into that like early front runner trap, even
Yeah.
though she didn't like get the first impression rose. She hasn't gotten a date, but they did have like some pretty intense early interactions at the group functions, and she is like imprinted. She's like, that's my guy, and now he's like kissing other people and taking them on dates, and that is the kiss of death for the early front runner.
Oh, yeah. Her time does feel limited.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe she'll find her feet, but like this is a really tough headspace to be in
Yeah.
episode 3.
But Mel does seem really into Cindy, so I
He
think I'll be
does.
interested to see how
Maybe
this
she'll be
plays out.
rescued by a date in the next episode or two, and that will settle her. Susan tells the assembled women they have a little gift for them since they've been without a man for a while, and it's a vibrator, or vibrators for each of them. And
They
in
don't
the
have to share
moment-
one. One group vibrator.
Oh my God.
Oh, thank you so much. You shouldn't have. In here in the moment, Peg is like, I don't know what it is. What is it?
Which I was
It
like,
can't be a
what?
vibrator. Like
Peg.
it very much can be a vibrator. Why are you saying that it can't be a vibrator?
By the way, it looked like a vibrator.
It's
Like-
like a
yeah.
pink little
Yeah.
rocket shaped
Yeah, very
device.
just
Like
a
a
real
mini Hitachi.
classic,
Yeah.
classic vibrator shape, not one of those like new designy ones that
No.
looks more
Yeah.
sculptural. Like no,
Yeah.
This is a classic vibrator. And she's like, somebody said it was a foot massager. And I'm like, yeah, Peg, that's what people say about vibrators when they're
That's-
trying to be kind of coy.
Yeah.
Like, if someone is like,
yeah,
look at my
we've heard
like,
the sharper
massager.
image jokes. Okay,
Yeah,
they've been around
yeah.
for decades.
Oh, I use this for neck pain. Oh, so that's your vibrator.
Yeah.
Got it. No,
Yes.
we all understand.
So wild.
She's not encountering this in the firehouse, I think, is the
That's the
issue.
problem. You have to be
Yeah.
a girl's girl.
Yeah, to get the tea.
And with that, it's time for the women to get all glammed up for their third rose ceremony. Carol is really anxious to put herself out there and make a connection at the cocktail party. And so are a lot of women. And they've all gotten really good advice from Susan to really make a strong play for Mel and kiss him.
And so they
And-
do.
So they do.
Literally all of them.
In quick succession.
When he arrives, Amy really like almost shoves the other women aside and is like, I'm never aggressive, but I'm just gonna go for it, and like plants a kiss on his lips. And that sets the tone. Suddenly all the women are just like standing in line to kiss Mel on the lips.
I loved it. Monica B is like, did Susan just give everyone the same advice last night? Yes, she did.
Sure did. Yeah.
And then she's like,
I mean,
well,
what else is she gonna say? Is she gonna go to one woman and be like, don't kiss him yet? And then another woman, you should kiss him. No, the strategy is the same for all of them.
Yeah.
You've gotta connect.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Monica's like, well, if you can't beat him, join him. I'm down. And
Which
this
I
is
thought was
when-
funny. Yeah.
This is when they prove Nicole right. She was the template.
Hmm.
Right. Just like one episode ago, they were all glowering while she kissed Mel in the same like entryway area in front of everyone. And now they're literally standing in line waiting for their turn to smooch Mel.
I thought I was like baffled. It was I mean, hilarious editing, but wowzers.
I feel like we've never seen this happen in the same way on the original franchise, although it is the case that like people will start to see that certain things are working and they'll start to change their approach. But it's almost like these women are all like, I didn't really come in with a strategy. I don't know what I'm doing. Someone told me to just kiss him, so I'm going to. Other women are doing it. It's going fine. And suddenly they're all just like literally doing it one after the other. No one's being like, I have another plan. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
They're like, if it ain't broke.
Wait, who kissed him second? Because she was like, I needed to kiss him
Cindy.
before. Yeah, Cindy was like, gotta kiss him
Cindy.
before everybody else kisses him because I don't want to taste
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Sloppy seconds is one thing, but you don't want to be a sloppy 13, you know? I mean, I'm fine with it personally, but Cindy is not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Mel comes in to
With like weird lipstick stains. We should note that. Please watch his lips during this whole montage scene because it does change colors.
Do you remember the weird urban legend panics when we were young about like, oh no, the teens are having rainbow parties and they're all wearing like different shades of lipstick and like,
What?
oh my God. Did you miss the whole rainbow parties moral panic?
Oh,
Sounds vaguely familiar.
I went to art school, so we had rainbow parties, but they were really different. My whole life was a rainbow party.
It was like an urban legend, like moral panic thing that was like, do you know what your kids are up to? Because what all the kids are doing now is they're wearing different shades of lipstick and then they're doing sex acts on boys to like leave rainbows on them.
Oh.
Right. Anyway,
Yeah,
that was
okay,
what
this
came.
is sounding more and more familiar.
This is a much
Okay.
more PG.
Wow, no, I didn't know that. Thank you for educating me.
Let's keep this urban legend going. Anyway, so Mel comes in with all the different shades of lipstick glistening on his face and makes a little speech to the women to kick off the night. I believe we have a clip.
Over the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of fun. Some group dates, some one-on-ones, but we need to get to know each other better. Because later on, there's difficult decisions I have to make. My love of my life could be in this room. Love, happiness, and fun.
Okay.
It's one of the worst toasts I've ever heard in my life.
Really. I also like, why doesn't he say like, I'm hoping that the love of my life is in this room? Like, the love of my could also not. She could be somewhere else. Like, I don't know, college right now.
We've had fun. We've had fun. We need to get to know each other better. There's decisions that
Because,
will be
guys,
made.
we're heading into Q4 and we really have to knuckle down if we're going to meet our objectives by the close of the financial year. Like, let's be honest. Like, he is leading a meeting. I don't know if it's a huddle or a boardroom, but he is truly going to the women and being like, it's time for us to get to know each other better because some difficult decisions are up ahead and we're going to want to have that information.
Yeah, there's going to be layoffs just around the corner. So
Which
you
is
don't want to
always,
be
like-
on a performance improvement plan when that happens.
That's one of the challenges of being the lead is that it's so easy to slip into the layoffs are approaching and we're having a meeting vibe when you are actually cutting contestants.
That's so
And
real. Yeah.
a good lead manages to keep the vibe more like we're at a party and I'm so excited to flirt with all of you. And some of the leads fall a little bit more into like, I don't know how to do this without sounding like I am heading up a meeting
And
right
that's
now.
Mel.
And
Yeah.
that's Mel. Carol is anxious about competing for a man. She never has. She had one boyfriend, one husband until 5 years ago. And in the past 5 years, she's gone on just 2 dates. But she is ready to dive right in and take Susan's advice. So she immediately steals Mel away, and she's also dressed in a very sparkly gold dress. She's ready to be like eye-catching, and she's ready to kiss Mel. She's like clearly nervous, and he's like, well, don't be shy. And she's like, he told me don't be shy, but that's who I am. That's like telling him, don't be a football player.
They both have
And
the
she-
same gift of gab.
Except somehow Carol is much more charming.
Oh, I love her.
I love her.
Love.
I mean, it really puts her, she puts her finger on, in a sort of jocular way, Mel's sort of straightforward approach to things. He's like, don't be shy, as opposed to like doing something that might make her feel more comfortable and distract her from her
Just don't do it.
nerves. Just don't be shy.
Don't do it. Yeah, he's not really giving her a lot. And we see this when we get this extended clip of the cold open. We have a clip right here.
I think you're very handsome, obviously.
Thank you. You're beautiful.
Thank you. So are you.
Okay, so far, so good.
So
right?
far, so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Well, ask
really would.
What do you need to
Okay.
know? What do you need to know?
Okay, so,
Yeah.
I think you're really handsome.
Yeah, so we got that going, right?
we got that going.
Yeah.
I'm out of my comfort zone here. Once you get to know me, I'm pretty fun. I think I'm fun.
No, I know you're fun. I can tell you're fun.
I'm sorry, I just, la, 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 la. Give it a little time,
I
okay?
gotcha.
Sometimes a little bit slower is better. Okay, I probably need to kiss this guy. Of course, I love dating. I like Mel, but it's just not my thing, okay?
Poor Carol.
Oh, I love
And
her.
we see this like intercut with her like putting her face in
She's
her
like-
hands and her in the moment. She's like, oh no.
But also, why would you ever say to somebody, well, what do you need to know? Ask me what you need to know.
Yeah, he's
what?
literally like, okay, we're here. I'm like, what are you doing? Like some like
He's waiting to be interviewed.
field side report. Yeah, he's literally
Yeah.
thinks she's like a reporter on the field, ready to interview him about the big game. He's like, what do you need? What do you need?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
what do you need?
What
What
do
do you
I
need to
need?
know?
What kind of like boxes do you need to check
Like,
off?
try asking her a
Yeah.
fucking question, Mel.
Right. What do
Right.
you need to know about her? You're the one like choosing. I was like, did she tell him like there's something I need to know?
I don't think so.
I'm baffled by this approach to making small talk. It's like it clearly increases her sense of tension. She's like, oh, I have to think of a question.
Well, and if you're walking into a date, right? And like you've been told you're going to kiss this person or you should kiss this person. So in your mind you've decided, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to kiss him. She's trying to get from where she's standing to like kissing him without it being that awkward, and she's only
Right.
gone out with 4 men in her entire life. Like I will
Yeah.
say, this woman does a lot of things and makes it look like a lot of nerve-wracking things to me, like winging stand-up in front of a live audience and, I don't know, kissing her 5th person on national television. And she, like, kind of makes it seem a lot less scary than I think it would be if I tried to do it. Meanwhile, this guy's just kind of like, don't be shy. What do you need to know? And she's got to figure out, okay, well, what's the transition that I
poor
say?
girl's scrambling.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think that's why she keeps circling around you're handsome, because she's trying to get the vibe in that like flirty romantic space. And he's like, obviously you have like some logistical questions for me or something. And she's like, that's not the vibe. Let's kind of stick with the flirty stuff. Oh no, the only thing I had for that was you're handsome. So I just said it again. Like, I don't know.
Oh.
She finally gets it going though by talking about sports and
Yeah.
doing the
She's
real
like-
foreplay, which is telling him that she loves the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Go blue.
Yeah.
And he loves that. Like that really lights him up. He's like, oh yeah, well, perfect. Like clearly she must be really into me if she wants to root for the University of Michigan. She also tells him she was divorced 5 years ago and also lost her mom that year. This is exactly what happened to Mel, as he
Yeah.
has discussed, like getting divorced and losing a parent like during COVID. And
He has
his
nothing.
response, he has nothing. He doesn't reference what happened to him and be like, oh, so we really went through the same thing, like asking her about the experience. He says, did you come out the other side better?
Like better than when my mom was alive? Like what are you talking about?
It's such an odd question.
Like, his question asking instincts are just like not right for this show.
abysmal.
Like he's like, there was some emotional stuff in your past. Let's move right past that. You're fine now, right? Like you're good. Like you're stronger, probably, right? And she's like, yeah.
He's like, good, great. Now let's
Good,
get up and
great,
walk back
great.
into the party. Yeah.
I'm like, Mel, this was such a beautiful opportunity to connect with her over this very difficult shared experience that you had.
No,
Totally.
He's not, I don't even think it's landed for him that they have gone through the same thing on the same timeline.
Yeah.
He's like, so you're good? Yep.
I was saying to you before, Emma, that like the weird thing about this is that one flaw that a lead can have is to be so focused on talking about their own experiences that they almost reach too much for like, oh, well, that reminds me of what happened to me.
You're like,
And
this
he
is an
doesn't even have that
occasion
instinct.
when that would be deeply appropriate, actually.
Right?
I know. It's so wild. Like, you're talking about two, like, of the most cataclysmic like losses that people can have, a divorce and then the loss of a parent. And he really breezed through that.
He breezed right by it.
He was just like, "You're good though, right?"
Yeah, you're good. Like, I'm so good that I don't even need to talk about mine to you. But Carol is attracted to him, and they're speaking words to each other. So she's ready to go for it with the kiss. And when they stand to return to the women, they share a peck. And she's even more giddy after this. And I'm sure also just the rush of accomplishing the scary goal that she set out to accomplish. I would feel amazing after getting myself to do that.
Yeah.
We
I mean, yeah.
Sorry.
She's kissed like 4 dudes in her whole life. She just kissed her 5th dude and she made the move. Like, girl, get it.
No,
she did that.
I love Carol.
Me too. And you know what? She's going to thrive after this show.
I think so. Yeah. I think this is going to be what she needs.
Yeah.
We see some of the other women also taking the Susan brief and going for it with Mel. Robin tells Mel that her job, she's learned, is to flirt with him. And she's like, so tell me how I'm doing. Like, I'm supposed to touch. I'm supposed to do my hair. She's like ruffling her hair. She's like, I'm supposed to wink. I'm supposed to kiss you. And he's loving it. In the moment, he says that Robin, quote, has a lot of pizzazz. And, quote, she's beautiful and darling and aggressive and strong. All the good stuff.
This killed me. I was like, at least he's using adjectives.
Yeah.
I'm unsure of how all of those things fit together.
I'm actually obsessed with the idea that he is out here saying that he loves aggressive women. I'm like, yes, hell yes. That's never on the list of adjectives
you have to
that
be
the men use.
darling and aggressive. And
an aggressive darling.
That's a fabulous combination.
It was the sort of unfolding list of adjectives that like you never saw the next one.
No, yeah, you're
coming.
like, what's next? What could it be?
It's as if he just learned words for the first time.
I will say this for Mel, when he decides to really go for it, he does pull out some unexpected terms.
I know. I do appreciate that he's not just like, she's awesome.
Yeah.
No,
he
that's
doesn't
true.
connect emotionally, but he does go beyond she's awesome. He's like, she has pizzazz and is darling and aggressive. And I love that.
Darling and aggressive is put that on a shirt.
I was just thinking, like, I want that on a hat.
Yeah.
I do feel like I kind of want that to be my personal motto
Darling
in
and
life.
aggressive.
Yeah, be darling and
I think
aggressive.
that's
Also,
I think that's
not
kind of
darling,
all 3 of us.
but aggressive. It's darling and aggressive. And I do think there is a distinction.
I agree.
Yeah. There's simpatico in this conception. Amy says to the other women that she wouldn't join the Mile High Club herself because she'd never have sex in a filthy public toilet.
I love that we're still talking about this.
Amy's
know, I'm
like,
that
I'm
was a
really
while ago."
focused. I'm really focused on the fact that Jerry has been in the Mile High Club.
But
also,
I know Mel is here, but this game of Never Have I Ever with Susan and Kathy is the high point of the week, by far the most interesting thing that's happened.
she doesn't want to hook up in a bathroom, but she's okay with the fact that they've all just kissed each other. I'm like, does she not know that just happened?
I think I would rather do that. The thing about airplane bathrooms is they're just like,
Here's the
how
thing.
do you get in the mood?
I don't want
know.
to be in an airplane bathroom even to pee. So, like,
Yes,
do I want to be in
exactly.
an airplane bathroom to have sex? Not really.
I
Yeah.
just always, okay, this might be so out of touch. When people say they've been in the Mile High Club, I just assume that they fucked on a PJ.
Oh,
I just never
I mean, that seems
assume.
way better, obviously.
Well, in that
like-
case, yeah. In that case, I would
Or
be
that they're
down.
like Emirates first. Like in my mind, I
Sure,
don't know how
yeah.
you
Right.
get 2 bodies.
They're in like the
but
one
this
of
is
those
why-
like Emirates suites
Yeah.
that you see on those
Right.
like luxury travel influencers.
But
like-
this is why Amy is our relatable queen. She's like, a plane to me means that you have to go into the tiny bathroom.
Right.
Why would I do that? And I'm like, I agree.
Oh,
Amy.
I
That's
agree
how
with
I think
that.
of it too. Because I will never be on a PJ.
Well, yeah. I
So
know.
that's my only hope.
But I can 2 people physically get into one of those?
I
I'm
think it's been
5'4" and a
done.
half.
It's been done.
I have a hard time.
I think regular people are joining the Mile High Club all the time.
Okay. Wow.
That
I'm
sounds like a sales
so
pitch.
impressed by
Regular
that.
people out there every day are joining the Mile
Yeah,
High Club,
they're
and
doing
you
it.
can too.
They're persevering.
Holy cow.
Not Amy though. Amy's waiting for the
No,
PJ.
Amy and I feel you, Amy.
Yeah, fair.
Same.
I'm in agreement there. No, absolutely not.
Well, I'm glad that we returned to this topic because I've learned so much. Cindy is still really struggling with seeing Mel connect physically with the other women, but she's ready to trust in Kathy's advice. Someone actually got advice from Kathy, and just be present. And they end up having a pretty good conversation. She thanks Mel for all of the dates that production planned and says that the Coliseum date helped her reconnect to part of her that she had lost because she has that background in dance. And they agree that they're both not interested in not having fun.
We love a double negative.
Yeah. Well, it sounds so boring to be like, I'm interested in having fun. She's like, every day I'm alive, my hair will be on fire.
I thought that was a very
I love your
interesting
hair.
way to say that.
I kind of loved it. It's a very colorful way of putting it.
Also,
She's like,
then
I'm just gonna be going nuts.
After this, we get my favorite thing that we've ever learned about Mel, which is that he reads books that aren't self-help books.
This blew me away. I was not, and this whole episode, I was like, oh, Mel, like you can't talk about emotions. You're not asking good questions. You're so closed off. And then he drops this incredible banger of a fun fact. He's like, I'm finishing up reading right now a 4-volume on Picasso.
Love that.
Truly.
Love that incredible stuff.
I was like, I'm sorry.
A
You're
sentence
reading-
that's never been said on this show before.
No, they're always like, my personal favorite book, The 5 Love Languages.
I know. I was like, Mel, what about the 4-day work week?
Yeah.
What about the Blinkist abbreviated version of the 5 love languages so that you can get through it more quickly?
Yeah. I was
4 volumes. Imagine.
4 volumes. And he's crazy. Like, first off, the fact that he reads nonfiction, I guess that's maybe less.
No, but just give the man a
shocking, but-
goddamn medal.
I was like, oh, he reads.
He reads.
Well, when he said nonfiction, I was like, either there will be no specifics given or he will say something like self-help, which is technically nonfiction, or like a business, some sort of business advice book or something. And then he drops the magisterial 4-volume biography.
The 4-volume, I think, is what got all of us. I was like, whoa. Holy cow.
Because there are a lot of biographies of Picasso, but a 4-volume one, I'm sorry, that's serious stuff.
I know. By the way, do you think he's ever going to comment on art at all during this season?
No.
But I'm
so curious because how do you read 4 volumes on Picasso and like walk away not knowing anything?
Aren't you just thinking about Picasso all the time?
I'd be wanting to talk about it.
I assume it's this 4-volume Picasso biography by John Richardson, A Life of Picasso,
All right.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I think the last volume came out just a few years ago.
2021.
So that tracks. I mean, it is possible that he's like the kind of dad who's into just reading biographies of great men, which might be less about a specific interest in art. However, I'm still really impressed. This is a level of intellectual curiosity that we've seen from very few people on this show. And I have to give it up for Mel here.
Agreed. It's also
Credit
so
where
crazy
credit's
to me
due.
that he's such a reader, a voracious reader, but it has not affected his vocabulary.
He does know darling and aggressive.
Okay, I take it back. He did use
The man's
pizzazz.
a goddamn genius.
And pizzazz.
man.
he's holding it all inside. It's still waters run deep. And Cindy is really impressed too. She's like, he's not just handsome, he's intelligent and he can drop a compliment. We haven't seen as much of that. I think the closest we see is that he tells her that he felt a connection with her right off the bat. And she's like, oh, swoon. And she weeps in the moment because she's so surprised by the strength of their connection.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Well, maybe she'll get a date. She and Debbie are both seeming just in a little too deep, and it's
Always
we'll
concerning
see.
this early on, but we shall see. With that, we head right into the rose ceremony. Of course, Nicole and Debbie already have roses, so they are safe. And the remaining roses go to Cindy, Peg, Roxanne, Jerry, Cheryl, Robin, and Carol, which means that going home are Amy, both Monica's, and Terry, our cosmetic dentist slash
And
ventriloquist.
ventriloquist. Yeah, both of our Monica's and both of our cosmetic dentists are
Okay,
headed
I've been
out.
dying to talk about this. And this is a perfect transition. A lot of veneers on this season.
Well, a lot of veneers on
A lot of
reality
veneers
television.
yeah.
Sure, but I expect, well, yes. These ones all look like they were done by the same dentist. It's
Were
giving
they done by Terry?
Yeah, maybe. It's giving
And
like
Monica.
chiclets. And I guess I was just so shocked. And maybe this is my naivete, but like I just expect the Golden Bachelor to be a little like less polished.
I think
And
we've seen that change within one season.
That's what I'm
That is all the
saying.
time that it took.
So when I was watching, I thought, oh my gosh, wow. It's crazy to me that there were like no veneers on season 1. And now it feels like everybody has veneers on season 2.
Yeah, I definitely have noted like and that carries through with a lot of the other like we're seeing a much more like Bachelor contestant, but
Vibe.
40 years older
Yep.
vibe. Whereas the first season, we saw a lot more like variation in like hairstyle and, yeah, like level of like maybe work they've had done, veneers, etc., style. These women all like style themselves, groom themselves, have the hair length and extensions that you would expect from a
Yeah.
26-year-old on the show.
Which, not to be a hater, but
I
bums
was
me out. Like the thing that
I
I
know.
loved so much about season 1 is I loved like that everybody felt-
variety.
Yes, I loved that. Anyway, that was the
Yeah.
one thing that I really I haven't been able to stop looking at.
Gary's top contenders were not necessarily these women who looked like, oh, we're taking the standard Bachelor contestant and just aging her up 40 years. They had all that diversity in how they showed their age. And I wondered initially, and maybe this is just the trajectory they were always going to go in, but the fact that Mel was very like, I can't deal with a woman who seems older
Yeah.
in any way, also shaped the casting a little bit. Like it seems like they had these conversations earlier. He ended up talking about it on the podcast, but they were probably considering that in casting too.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah.
And
I hope it's that because I would love for season 3 to go back to a little bit more variety, a little bit
I
more
think that
just
was
like
the magic of it.
yes,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. That was definitely something that we all loved about season 1, but there is that fear that there is this inertia of reality shows to move towards like more and more polished, like precision engineered, conventionally hot
And it
presentation.
starts with the teeth.
Yeah, though they all have veneers now.
It's so crazy.
Like, when you go back in the Bachelor, like itself, like franchise history.
Oh, the early
Like-
aughts, it's like a whole different world.
Well, that's even like within the last like decade or so that I started watching, you saw veneers become the standard like so suddenly.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like that. And now, and like it used to be that you would also see like a post main show kind of cosmetic work makeover before Paradise. A lot of them are coming on like already there.
Pre-cooked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's already been done.
Yeah, it's like that there is that expectation that ratchets only one way.
Well, thank you for letting me get that off my chest.
So we say goodbye to 4 beautiful women. And Mel tries to persuade everyone that it's definitely very difficult to say goodbye.
Yeah.
It's not. He's fine.
It's just even if he's feeling these emotions, he is yet to kind of like display
Convey
it in a
that?
way that convinces me, on a gut level.
Yeah.
I'm more convinced that he was reading a 4-volume biography of Picasso than I am that he feels anything genuine.
I have to
about these
agree.
women.
We do get some previews for next week, and we see a couple dates, a wedding photo shoot date that Debbie is on. Peg seems to be getting a one-on-one that takes place at a carnival. There's some sensual kisses, including Mel kissing, I believe, Cindy passionately in the surf, while all of the other women watched. We see that something has rubbed Carol the wrong way. Robin thinks at least one person is here for the wrong reasons. And Nicole wants to become an influencer.
More of an influencer.
Oh, yeah, sorry, more of an influencer.
She's like, no, I am an influencer, but I want to become more of an influencer. So I think we know who maybe is here for the wrong reasons in Robin's view.
We shall see. Rory, thank you so much for joining us. This was so much fun. Can you tell everyone listening where they can find you, your book, and the rest of your work?
I'm at I Could Be Blonder on Instagram because I could be blonder. And then I'm at Rory Uphold on TikTok because I'm bad at branding. And then I wrote a book. It's called A Final Girl's Guide to the Horrors of Dating, and you can get it basically anywhere online where you get books.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone check that out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And now it's time for Love to See It, Hate to See It. Let's start with Hate to See It, get that bad stuff out of the way. First, Hate to See Productions' utter failure to ensure that Carol could read well enough to write on her comedy writing date. Someone get this woman her readers, just probably travel with a whole bucket of them just in case.
It can't hurt, you never know when someone will need a little extra help. I went on a cruise when I was younger, and the medication I took for nausea from the seasickness made my vision blurry, and I had to use my dad's reading glasses the whole time.
Oh my God.
You got to be prepared with vision corrective aids. We also hated to see the inclusion of Jared Freed, basically jumping on Amy's punchline and taking over her part of the roast and turning it into this sort of comic rant about how much she sucks. I just don't think it played well in the edit. Leave that one on the cutting room floor. It made me want to save Amy.
Also, hated to see Amy and Terry, two of our primary comedic relief women / narrators, gone too soon.
Yeah, I'll miss them. I hated to see Mel's continued just stiffness and lack of vulnerability. I think there are just so many points this episode when you might not even necessarily notice it in an affirmative way, but there were just huge opportunities for connection and between him and the women, and also getting to know the women and Mel better by the audience that were left to the wayside because he didn't really give much, he didn't ask much, and he wasn't able to kind of show that warmth and connection in those moments.
Fully agree. It's a real bummer. Let's move on to Love to See It. We both really loved to see all of the women getting the opportunity to let loose on Mel, which must have just been extremely cathartic.
Yeah, that had to be done. I also really love to see Cheryl just adorably trying to understand the point of roasting people. She's too pure for this world.
Love to see a Bachelor recapper making it onto the actual show.
Yes.
Jared, you are all of us.
Yes. Honestly, despite that Amy situation, I think he nailed it overall. And I think they should take a cue from that they should invite more Bachelor recappers onto the show. Just throwing it out there. Also, love to see some actual eating on the dates. They're not going to let that food go to waste.
Also, love to see Kathy and Susan back on our TV screens. Literally always a treat.
I know that we really love to see Mel actually reading a book that isn't self-help, that isn't business advice. People need to read books. We need to uplift people reading books.
And we give this one to you, Mel. We have criticized you, but not in this regard.
No one's perfect, but if you're going to read a 4-volume biography of Picasso, and also in a way promote it to the whole Golden Bachelor viewership by mentioning it, on the show, like, I really applaud that.
Me too. Now it's time for our love, happiness, and fun rating out of 10 champagne toasts. This one was kind of low for me. Like, he had some real chemistry with Debbie and Cindy, but there was just, as you said, so many opportunities for love, happiness, and fun that were simply left and not taken.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this one like a 3 or a 3.5.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's low. I think any of the fun that was brought by the women roasting. It was brought by Susan and Kathy hosting a slumber party. That still leaves a lot of the runtime of the episode that just wasn't really fun, and where we're not seeing a lot of love and happiness unfolding before us. So I think I'd have to agree with you on a 3.5.
And on that note, that's it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire. Thanks to our guest, Rory Uphold.
Love to See It is a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon and Emma Gray. This episode was edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Haviv, and our art is by Aaron Nestor. If you like the show, please follow us, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. And of course, tell all your friends about our show.
If you want to get in touch, you can always email us at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
You can also find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and Instagram at Claire and Emma Pod. And you can find our newsletter, Rich Text, on Substack at claireandemma.substack.com.
I'm also on Blue Sky at Emma Gray and on Instagram at Emma Lady Rose.
And I'm at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey, Eric Donnelly, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, and Hillary Shook.
We'll be back soon.
Can you keep up?